So you know that Ava Longoria is making a movie about the Flaming Hot Cheeto story, right? Like the guy, the guy who invented Flaming Hot Cheetos is like, he was like a worker. I don't know if this is a real story, but from what I understand, he was just like a worker on the line, and he liked to go home and put a bunch of spicy stuff on his Cheetos, and he took it to the big boss, and he's like, "Here's my idea," and they're like, "All right." But I don't know if that's the real story, but it's being made a movie by Ava Longoria. She might even be directing it.
I don't know if I'm really, really excited or I don't even know what I am.
I think that's sort of amazing that like this story is being made by a Hollywood like a name, right? She's not just some lady you've never heard of. And I mean, some people maybe, but I don't know. I just can't. I'm sort of excited. I'm sort of excited.
I mean, who doesn't like Flamin' Hot Cheetos?
I know. Well, the Flamin' Hot Funyuns we just had were much better. Isn't that weird? I don't like Funyuns. But put some Flamin' Hot on there and boop, boop.
So why is she specifically doing Flamin' Hot? Is she just a big fan?
No, I think that I think he might have been Latino. I think he the guy who invented it, and I think it's just appealed to her. She wants to give more exposure to the Latin community in her work. Is what I am going for there. And so I think it brings the awareness of, this
guy's contribution to Cheeto lore.
Dude, for real, right? Like the annals of history.
Annals of Cheetos.
Mm-hmm.
Anal Cheetos.
Exactly. Oh, man. I'm telling you.
Hello? Last video store on the left. Hello, Ralphie. Hey, yeah. Yes, Ralphie. Ralphie, I got it. Ralphie? Ralphie. Look, Ralphie. Ralphie.
Just hang up on that
Ralphie. Guy. Hey, Ralphie. Ralphie? Ralphie.
Just hang up.
Ralphie. Ralphie, you. Ralphie. Ralphie.
It's not worth it.
Now, Ralphie, that's not... Ralphie. Ralph. Okay, fine. You know what? You're a pink nightmare. Thanks for calling. Bye.
All right. I'll take that. I'll take that dig.
Fair enough.
Yeah, pink nightmare. You got it. Anywho, I just think it's a really interesting idea.
Cheetos?
Yeah, the Flaming Hot Cheetos thing. It's a story that
everything
needs to be told.
Related to Cheetos is an interesting idea.
Not really, because it's mostly just corporate fucking debaggery, I would think.
Do they have Chipotle Cheetos?
I've never seen a Chipotle Cheeto. Like the flavor, not the brand, right? Like the Chipotle pepper and adobo, like that, not like...
So maybe now Kenneth Branagh can make a movie about me for like Irish culture.
Hey, what's going on, my fellow human beings?
Good morning, Mayor.
Hey, good morning. It's morning already? Oh, my God, I must have dozed off for a second. I was playing chess in the park.
Oh, that's nice. It looks like you have a drink in your hand, though.
Oh, would you like... Hey, you're fancy and a little bit of Mayor's magic bag. Yes, I have a drink in my hand, little lady.
Oh, good.
Is it... my friend bartender, he said it's called a Johnny Silverhand.
Johnny Silverhand.
He said it's kind of like an old-fashioned, but with tequila and a little bit of Mexican beer.
Tastes like a little bit of tequila and Mexican beer. It sure does.
It tastes delicious to me.
I don't know if I love it or hate it. I feel it needs a salty rim.
Yeah, salt makes everything a little bit better.
Maybe it needs a
more palatable.
It needs a flaming Cheeto rim.
Oh, I love flaming Cheetos. They burn twice.
Oh. Wow, Mayor, don't you have someplace to be?
It just makes you feel alive.
Truer words.
I'm going to go back and check everything out.
All right, well, good luck.
Speaking of which.
Yeah.
All right,
thanks.
Cool.
Yeah, sorry, Johnny. Looks like you have something to clean up tonight. I didn't give him the Flamin' Hot Cheetos. Oh, well,
Guys, I hate to bring this up.
Oh, God.
But
Still in debt.
Could I knock off a little early tonight?
Again, how's your problem my problem? What's your excuse?
Said I got problems. I'm gonna be an author. I'm working on
Wow.
a children's book.
That's fantastic.
It's called "Oh, the Noises Our Butt Makes."
Kids are going to love it.
Yeah,
Yeah. Kids love butt noises.
they do.
Yeah. It's
It's-
ridiculous.
It's coming along really well. We're in negotiations with Jennifer Lopez to write the foreword.
Oh,
Wow.
that's very cool. So Jennifer Lopez has a special connection to this, or?
Just marketing.
Oh, just marketing. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know. She was like, I really enjoy this book because I feel like my body makes noises, and so I need to tell people. I don't know.
Probably not.
What's the book called? Oh, my body makes noises. My butt makes.
Oh, the noises
Oh,
your butt will make.
I thought that was like the under the title.
I forgot that it was butt, and I just thought bodies because I couldn't be so specific as butt. I can't believe you're making it about butts, but I get it.
We were in negotiations with Kim Kardashian, but we had to cut it off because she wanted too many back-end points.
Oh my God. Yes, you can have a knockoff early. Blah, blah, blah.
The audiobook is going to be amazing. We're going to get Jack Black to do the narration and the Foley work. It's going to be awesome.
I think that sounds delightful. I mean, it'll be like The Saint, but
I think that's great because
Yeah,
he is
Jack
an
Black was in
unsung
that movie.
Foley artist.
yeah. Don't you think he made the noises of himself blowing up in The Saint? That's what I think. I think that he
I think
blew
it was the
himself up.
jackal he blew himself.
Oh, that's what that was. Hey, hi, how are you? Welcome to Last Video Store on the left. The jackal.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, thanks. But he wore that little pin with the Saint thing on it, right? Like he wore the Halo pin in the jackal?
You are gotten your movies mixed up.
Oh, man. Whew. Don't do drugs, kids. I'm sorry, sir. Hey, welcome to the store. What
Hey.
can we do for you?
It's all good. It's all good. Don't you worry about a thing,
Oh.
darling.
There ain't
Wow.
nothing to worry about
You
for
seem-
sure.
Yeah.
Seem very relaxed.
Oh, you know what? I'm just a leaf on the wind. I'm just riding the breeze, you know?
Cool.
Yeah, very cool.
All right.
Well, you must be looking for some kind of entertainment, or else why are you here, right?
You know what? I've learned in my travels that entertainment comes and goes. And right now I'm here. And I'm ready to receive whatever might come my way. But that sounds nice.
Whatever might come your way. That's interesting. Okay.
Whatever comes my way.
Well, I mean, you seem really laid back and mellow, and like you just take it anything for what it is. Are you connected? Like, do you have, a cell phone or,
He has a vibe of a technomancer. Sorry. That's hard to say.
Okay,
It is.
well, maybe you shouldn't have.
No, he's correct. I use technology to help me gather information, but I never let it consume me.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Right. I hear you.
Well, it sounds like you're already ahead of the game. Maybe we should suggest a movie that tells a different story about technology. The trials and tribulations. What could happen if you actually hook yourself up to it?
I've tried it a few times, had some good successes, made some friends.
Like electro shocking the nips, or?
Wow.
That's a big 10-4.
Okay. You look like it. I just assumed.
Well.
I apologize. I just,
Try it once.
Yeah.
You're hooked.
Yeah.
Try it twice.
You ever
Yeah,
had an
you're
F-line
hooked.
session?
It's a big thing right now. F-line, doing an F-line sesh. It's a big thing.
From the movie Flatliners?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's not-
That's
It's an underground kind of a new, fad. People do little flatline sessions.
But that's not what we're suggesting tonight. No. No, I think we should bring out the 1995 underground classic
Cyberpunk classic. Johnny Mnemonic.
based on a William Gibson short story. Johnny Mnemonic. Starring,
Johnny Mnemonic.
Starring the great and versatile Keanu Reeves.
especially in the 90s.
There was a period of my life for about 15 years where I did not consume anything other than audio, but I do remember something about this film, but I never quite found my way to the cinema.
This is a good balance between consumption and going with the flow at the same time. Because in this story, so Johnny Mnemonic is a mnemonic messenger. right? And he's got what they use these messengers to transfer data around. So rather than the old Cold War days of like slipping a piece of microfilm in a burrito or something, they actually have part of their brain able to
They
jack
have some
into
memory dumped so that
Right.
they can carry around other information,
it's like having
data.
it's like having a flash drive in your skull
yeah.
that can contain a certain amount of information that you don't want other people to get.
Why not just carry a flash drive?
I don't know, because this is the
too.
cyberpunk post-apocalyptic world.
So it was 1995. They were making some assumptions about the year 2021. That's where this movie takes place. And I'm sure that the William Gibson short story was probably really good.
Probably.
It was probably really good, but this was a convoluted mess. But it's worth it because, again, it has a lot of good actors in it and some not so great actors and some really... It's kind of fun to watch them imagine 2021. There's a virus taking over the world.
Some things they got right.
There's a virus taking over the world that
They're
people
in
are dying from.
They're in Beijing, and there's a bunch of
Shanghai,
people wearing
wasn't it?
Beijing.
That was Beijing.
And there's a bunch of people wearing masks.
Yeah, and they're
Rioting.
rioting in the street because they don't. They're about the virus. They're rioting in the street about the virus. There was something else that was really
Poignant.
yeah. I don't remember what it was though. Unfortunately, they still had long distance telephone calls, and they still had to
Yeah.
beep boop beep.
They
boop,
still
beep,
had
beep,
4x3 television sets. They didn't have cell phones.
AT&T paid a pretty penny
Yeah.
to be in this movie.
I bet, yes.
And I
they-
bet you Sprint was like,
So William Gibson actually wrote the script for this too, but he swears that it was altered, heavily altered, because he says it's not the vision that he had. Because, well, in all fairness, it's quite awful. It is a quite.
Seems so strange that a movie would go from having a great concept and then get muddied and muddled up and turn into a mess by the end. You almost never hear about that happening in cinema.
Yeah,
It
it's
is weird. It's an outlier for sure.
It has this stupid crawl at the beginning to exposit.
That's like 3 times the length of Star Wars with so much exposition. It's ridiculous.
Which is stupid because in the movie, you basically find out all of the stuff that they just told you. Like, it's not backstory. It's literally telling you what's
Where you're at,
happening.
what's happening. as it happens.
Yeah. And it's like,
It's like a producer being like, all right, look, the American public is too stupid to understand any of this. So we're going to make a crawl, kind of like Star Wars in the beginning. And we're going to tell them everything because they're fucking stupid.
but we're going to put it in red. We're going to make everything red.
as hard as possible to read.
Yeah. Except for blue, right? And we can't, blue's too far, but we can put it in red. So
I like to read.
it's
Perfect.
pretty, you can tell that there's definitely some precursors to the Matrix in this.
Oh my goodness. It was like a test run for
Yeah.
the Matrix.
Yeah, except for he was Mr. Smith.
And the Wachowskis are like, let's take this awful thing
Yeah.
and realize its potential.
I can totally see them like getting high in their dorm room, being like, "Are you watching this? Take notes. We got to take notes right now."
So we meet our protagonist, Johnny Mnemonic. His name is just Johnny. He's just Johnny.
But he's
What does Johnny stand for?
Just Johnny.
It's-
That's his name.
It's English for Johnny.
Oh, so it's not Johnny. It doesn't turn out that it's a mnemonic device at the
No.
end.
he is the mnemonic.
He's a mnemonic messenger, is what they are.
Yeah, so he's
He's
carrying...
like a Blade Runner, except he's a mnemonic messenger.
They use the term mnemonic very loosely.
Okay,
for
or
this-
like incorrectly maybe.
Yes,
No,
mainly
because-
because it sounds cool.
Can we just
Okay.
take 1 second to talk about how stupid the spelling of mnemonic is?
Yeah,
Just 1 second.
yeah.
English
Fucking
language.
English, man.
So he's in a black suit with a white shirt and black tie, very Matrixy. The idea is,
With a really radical, gravity-defying haircut.
yeah,
His sideburns are extreme. They're very 90s.
Yeah.
yeah, it
Is
was
this before or after Speed?
after, isn't it? I think it might
Speed
be.
94?
Speed was 94, so
I
this
would
was
say
after.
so. Yeah.
So he was,
He
yeah.
was kind of coasting on his reputation.
This is right around the time he was in Kenneth Branagh's Much Ado About Nothing as the bad guy, which is some real cinema. everybody in that movie is so good, and then Keanu Reeves comes on screen, and you're like,
And it comes to a screeching halt.
So,
was Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure just like lightning in a bottle?
No.
Was it just like the perfect match for him?
but
I
he
think
was
so,
working
yeah.
before that. He did
Yeah.
My Own Private Idaho, where he had played this like really
My Own Private Idaho-
dark character.
That came out after.
Oh, was
I think
it?
Bill and Ted was the perfect
Yeah.
vehicle.
Then how do you see Bill and Ted, and you're like, okay, we're gonna put him in My Own
Yeah.
Private Idaho as some like,
He was still a young, hot actor at the time.
yeah,
Gus Van
They
Sant
did-
was like, yeah, I want to bang him.
yeah,
So
okay.
That's exactly
put
what
him in my movie.
Well, it was like some kind of weird, unknown secret, like known secret, something that what's his name at Sony had propositioned him back in the day. What's his name? Who was like
Geffen?
the head? Yes,
David Geffen,
Yes,
yeah.
Geffen. He was one of Geffen's.
Oh, yeah, that was a big rumor
Pretty
that
boys.
yeah.
that's how he got...
So it's a rumor, right? We're just
Oh no, this is allegedly. Allegedly,
all
of
alleged.
this is like allegedly from the '90s. I haven't heard any
Okay.
of this since the '90s. That was way
Right.
back in the day.
And we don't
alleged.
talk about this anymore. As a society, we just don't talk about it.
Yeah.
Look, you never know. It's never like, it's just not something that you've ever heard of. Young attractive actors sleeping with producers. It's not something that happens on
No.
a regular basis.
No. In fact, let's coin a phrase, shall we? Casting couch. How's that? There you go.
Never heard of this
I-
term before.
Bam.
nailed it.
So in this film, should we call it a film?
So we should, but you can also probably call it an art piece because the visuals are very stunning, and actually I think that they do a good job with the photography and the costumes and the makeup of making a post like cyberpunk kind of world.
Yeah, the makeup and the costumes were really good.
Yeah.
Actually, I enjoyed the makeup and costumes.
And I got to tell you,
the
because
props, not so much.
My feeling was it was the best movie a 13-year-old could make of that one movie with Harrison Ford. I'm blanking on it.
Blade
Blade
Runner.
Runner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Apparently, I have a mnemonic device.
they have they do the '90s internet, like we're in the internet,
Yeah.
where it's all this like
It's
computer
very
generated.
It's just like almost like Hackers, but a little bit I think better done. But it's the same concept.
It looked exhausting.
It did look
making
exhausting.
a phone call in the future.
Yeah,
Holy
just
cow.
a phone call, just a FaceTime.
A long distance phone call.
yeah, long distance.
Or just
Look,
trying
you
to
know-
I
hack
need to
in
get
some-
to a computer.
The problem with today's technology is there's no style in it anymore.
That's
you know?
true.
Yeah.
You need to have that. Back in the day, the modem would make noise, and it would-
Yeah.
And this definitely had style. So this movie was directed by Robert Longo, who's an artist. He also did a bunch of videos. He did a couple of REM videos, The One I Love. He did Megadeth. He did New Order's Bizarre Love Triangle. But then he's most famous for his Men in the Cities art kind of project, where if you ever watched American Psycho, the paintings that Christian Bale has on his wall with the men in their suits in contorted positions, he took those around New York City. He took, and he's pretty famous for that. So he's an artist, and this is his first and last foray
artist.
into doing film.
Terrible director.
That explains a lot.
It explains a lot.
I don't feel so bad calling him a 13-year-old, but in a way, it's like if he continued, I'm sure he'd make great masterpieces.
Or he should just become maybe the guy in the camera.
Yeah, cinematographer.
Yeah, the
that guy.
cinematographer.
That guy. The photo guy.
Is the CGI anything similar to maybe Lawnmower Man?
Yes.
I
Yes.
love Lawnmower
Because
Man.
we
Very
actually
much
said
so.
that. He said, "Are we watching Lawnmower Man?"
At some point.
Yeah.
A
But-
touch better, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe
Not as good as T2.
No.
T2
not
would
as
come out
good.
now and rock the
Yeah.
world, but they're still doing this shit.
Not
No.
as good as Jurassic Park.
Well, so
You can tell that he's an artist because the direction in this it's like a slog fest. Everything is it's an action movie, but it's all the action is directed very slowly and,
it's like,
awkwardly.
ooh.
Yeah. It's
And if you
strange.
have to, like, if there's like at one point something's shaking, like the whole building's shaking, and you see the actors like throw themselves across.
Like an old Star Trek episode.
Yeah, exactly.
So bad.
Exactly.
Sounds like passion to me.
It is passion.
It is. It really
Very
is.
much
They had
very
no other
passionate.
choice, those actors. So it starts with him in some unknown hotel room and some unknown prostitute getting a call from his agent about a big job.
That was Thursday.
just one more job. Exactly. It was his Thursday too. And so just one more job, and he can pay to have the doctors retrieve the memories that he dumped from his childhood to make room for the data carrying. So his agent, we find out later, is a bad guy, obviously. I know. I'm giving it away. Spoiler alert. He sends him on this one more job. Make sure you have adequate...
Can you do the voice?
Which voice?
His agent's voice.
Johnny, you have to get to where you're going. If you don't have that more... They
want what they want.
They want what they're coming for you. You must go away, Johnny. You must leave.
Sounds like I want to say a Frasian accent.
Yes.
That's actually pretty accurate.
It's generic European. It's generic. Yeah, Frasian. Yes, because they're in Beijing.
Eastern Europe, Prussian.
Yeah, because they're in
maybe,
Beijing, so he has that like I've been in an Asian country accent to his weird French. So maybe Frasian. I like it.
So to tie up these pieces, the actor they're talking about is Udo Kier, who you may know from Blade.
From
Blade.
Johnny
I was gonna say
Mnemonic.
Blade Runner.
Oh.
Yeah, from Johnny Mnemonic. From Blade. He played the chief vampire that got killed in Blade. But he was also in, I think it was Paul Morrissey. He was in these 70s art films, Blood for Dracula. Was it Andy Warhol? He was with that whole crowd.
Makes sense.
He was with that whole
He's
artist
super
crowd.
campy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super campy. So it's the future, and some of the stuff they didn't get right. Go ahead.
Sorry, but this has been eating at me for 2 weeks now. So the movie starts off January 17th on a Thursday, 2021.
You were right. It was a Thursday.
It was. And I looked up that date on my calendar, and January 17th was a Sunday in 2021.
Like they couldn't even be bothered to look
They
at a
couldn't
calendar.
even bother to look it up.
No, that's funny.
Drove
That's
me nuts.
that's really funny.
Lazy.
Yeah, that is lazy. So
Thank you. I had to get that off
Unless
my
maybe
chest.
the calendar's changed.
after the
Could be
Cyber Wars.
yeah.
alternate reality.
Yeah.
I didn't think of that.
So
Alexander the Great changed our calendar.
he did. That guy,
But
bastard.
nothing can hold us down. We are human beings.
That's true. And that's what this movie says.
Human beings. So Ralphie, his agent, says, you have to go and meet these guys and get this thing put in your head, and then you'll get your stuff back. And so he's like, all right, one last job. So he goes to this hotel, and he goes up to this.
Did he get his upgrades, though?
Oh,
This is a
he
big
only,
job.
He only got half
right.
of what he needed, right? He only got 164.
180 gigabytes.
No, it
or
was
something.
164.
Oh, was it?
I
64?
think. No, 180 maybe.
So he had 80 already
Yes.
in
Yeah.
his mnemonic hard drive in his brain.
Yeah.
And he bought RAM doubler.
Yeah.
Just
Yes.
shout out to my Mac 7.5 peeps. RAM doubler. So now he has 160 gigabytes.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes. So
I
But
just want to
is-
say that is an incredibly low amount of data.
For 2021.
That feels
For in your
incredible.
brain.
it was called Wetworks. It was the Wetworks in his head, okay?
If you're gonna put that much storage in my brain, I want a lot. I want a terabyte at least.
They're putting 320 in his head. That's what they got. And they're like, you have enough storage, right? And
So
he's
it's
like,
very important, and it's illustrated to you. It's very important that you not go over the amount of gigabytes you've got the storage, because you're going to get brain seepage
it
and you
leaks
can die.
and it'll corrupt the data and it'll give you brain bleed, and then it can't get the data out, and then you're no good to anybody, right?
And you're dead.
Yeah, and you're dead. So now you've just fucked everybody. So
I
he's
just want to say I've carried at least 17 3 terabyte M.2 storage devices through customs, and I'm just saying it's all good.
yeah, but customs wasn't looking inside your brain for that, right?
No.
Okay, there's a difference because Wetworks. Okay,
Right.
you have an implant now. It's different.
Yeah,
Sorry.
totally different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
totally. Because
completely.
when you pass through security now and you land in Newark, they're going to be scanning your brain to match your passport. And he had some seepage, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
Wow. This
I
goes
had
back
some
to
seepage too in that customs office.
this. All takes me back to Johnny's new book, Seepage. Sorry.
Oh, butt
The
noises.
sound our seepage will make.
Okay. So
You brought it up. I'm just saying.
he says, don't worry about me. Give me the information. I'm going to get your shit to where it needs to go. I'm good.
There's a lot of overacting in this as well, because he gets to this hotel, a swanky hotel room, like in where is it, Beijing?
Yeah.
Holy crap, man! And these guys, I mean, honestly, if they had a better director, I apologize to this guy, but if they had a better director that knew how to handle like performances, maybe these guys come running at him. Oh yeah! I'm so glad you're here.
Yeah,
It's
the
just
directing.
So weird.
You can tell that the directing is terrible.
It's wild.
So terrible. So he gets there.
They were Asian programmers. This is their first gig, so they were nervous. They didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he does it, and the way that you get
He does what?
he does
does
it.
he
He
do?
plugs his shit in the brain, and he puts a thing on his face, and he goes like that, and clamps his teeth together, because apparently that's what happens when you upload data to your brain.
You see it all.
So they take some randomized images from the television as a passcode, and they're supposed to fax it back to New Jersey.
In 2021.
Yeah. And so when he gets there with his little printout, it looks like pictures from a photo booth. When he gets there with his pictures from the photo booth, they're supposed to match them, and he knows he's met the right person. Seems like there's lots of holes in that fucking security device. But anyway.
So he puts on these iPhones.
Bum, bum, bum.
A little precursor there, but they're actually iPhones.
Yeah, it's more like Futurama, where they open their
Yeah.
eyeball and stick it in.
No, but it's like it's like a visor. It's like a virtual reality visor. He's gonna put this big, silly, goofy helmet visor on his face, and then he puts on these haptic gloves, and he puts a mouthpiece in and goes to town and gets uploaded.
So anyway,
If you're gonna put your teeth huge on a big screen, maybe put veneers on.
no.
And
I
this,
thought-
this isn't against him.
I thought his
No.
teeth looked really good,
Yeah.
to be honest.
That
This
didn't.
isn't against him. This is against the director.
Nope.
I thought it was okay. I was actually envious. I'm like, man, this guy's got
found
some.
it
I hate
distracting.
all the veneers.
It was
I hate all the
distracting.
veneers
You're
that
right.
are on screen now. I want everybody had fucked up teeth. I wish everybody had fucked
Yeah.
up teeth. I want to see them. That to me is a human.
Like
human
Timothy
thing.
Oliphant, like when he straightened his teeth, I'm like, dude, you took the character out of your mouth. I loved
So
him in
dumb.
Go.
Even fucking corn niblet teeth. Tom Brady got fucking big old veneers now. So now he looks even more like Frankenstein.
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, I was going
Ugh.
to say.
Yeah.
Ben Affleck.
They
all looked great
the girls,
before.
don't even get me started on any of the girls, because then everybody's mouth moves real weird over the big giant veneer, so their mouth doesn't even look the same anymore. But we're sidetracking.
Sorry.
So we are now uploaded. He's flipped out and got to go to the bathroom to throw up in some shit.
He's got 320 gigs.
Yeah, in his brain.
That's
Seeping all over the place.
yeah,
twice as
seepage.
much as he could hold.
Right. And so he goes into the bathroom to vomit, and then all of a sudden the bad guy's
His
busted.
nose starts bleeding, and he does so. And this is weird. He does some weird like Tai Chi kind of a thing, and you're like, oh, he's done this before.
And
But-
the Wachowskis were the Matrix.
Right.
Yes,
But he
this
never
is
does it
happening.
again, so don't get all hung
But he
up
doesn't
on
do it again. I'm like, this
Yeah.
is actually cool. Does this come back?
No. No. So apparently in the crawl at the beginning, you found out that the Yakuza are on the side of the bad guys. So the Yakuza have come to make
That
sure...
hasn't been my experience when I went to Japan. I'm just saying.
Okay,
Yakuza
I
were
can
the
imagine
good
it would be
guys.
a really good time.
Yeah.
I think that they'd be fun.
I'm just saying it's not my experience.
I think in
I
every
mean-
futuristic movie, I think it's just standard that the Yakuza are not going to be.
Or the
epic.
triad.
According to video games, they love bowling and karaoke.
Okay.
That's all I know
I
about
think
them.
that's a big Asian stereotype, is the karaoke thing. That's real. It's like in
I
anything
think
that's...
that they perfected it, for God's
I mean,
sake.
but
I
like, they do
went
it with the
to-
Korean and the Japanese people and all of them. It's not just strictly for...
I mean, in Japan, there's not a lot of room for people to party at their own
Exist.
homes
Uh-huh.
because of the lack of space
Yes.
of where people live. So
Yes.
there is not only is karaoke big there because they can't do it at home, but also love hotels. And love hotels are there because if you want to love your partner, you've got your aunt, your uncle, or grandma.
Yeah.
You've got other family, and there's a lot of family, and so you can't do that. And so they have hourly hotels
I hear they're-
designed for couples.
I hear their birth
Wow.
rate's falling, so...
I can show you all if you'd
You have
like
some pictures?
to. Well,
Okay,
I was thinking.
so
Sorry.
moving on.
Tickets.
We have a lot of stuff to get through. So Johnny
The other Johnny.
Mnemonic decides he has to fight his way out of the bathroom now to save the information that's in his head.
So he uses a nice rigid towel rack holder.
But wait, the guy who comes in has some magic thumbnail. He
Yeah.
has this long thumbnail attachment that when he pulls on the nail, it comes out as like a laser lasso.
Laser whip.
That he can lasso through things. Like he lasered through the door to even get into the hotel suite. And then, but it seems to only work when he it didn't slash through the metal when he needed it to slash through some metal, but.
You know, if you're going to have a weapon, I guess it's kind of cool, but it's also simultaneously really kind of creepy and off-putting. Like his fingernail is this laser whip.
Which is brought up later by the head of this corporation, and he says to him in Japanese, he says, "I see your greatest shame has become your best asset."
So obviously this guy had to prove his loyalty and chop off his thumb.
Or something.
But when you look at it, he didn't really chop off his thumb because
it's just a fingernail.
It's just like a little cap you would get in a gumball machine.
It looks like an acrylic nail that he just yanks out, and
Yeah.
it looks like a tape measure, and he goes, zzz,
didn't really
or like a
prove his
plumb
loyalty
line.
that much.
Keys.
All
Yeah.
the Yakuza loyalty tests I've seen, they have definitely gone 2 knuckles deep.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Same thing when I was in the security checkpoint at the airport.
Oh,
is that
here.
really?
With
Wait,
your hard drives.
Yes,
is that
sir.
really
Wow.
what you're insinuating happened in this? Is that he had his thumb cut off?
He had, absolutely.
And that this was his replacement thumb. After
Right.
being disgraced in
Yes.
Yakuza, he had his shit chopped off, and then he had a
Yes.
replacement thumb.
That's what I'm saying.
And this is the only magic in the movie, by the way, right? Like, there's no real, like,
Like
this is
CGI.
magic.
Except for the
Technology.
Oh,
Yeah.
is that what it is?
It's
'Cause it felt
technology.
so.
No, it's not magic. Yeah, it's technology. I thought you meant movie
Oh.
magic. No, this is like, I mean, the effect for the laser whip is pretty good.
It felt like Little China. Big Trouble in Little China is what it felt like to me.
Oh, no, this is
That's
like an
what-
actual laser whip. You can probably get at the nearest Johnny Mnemonic store. Or whatever.
Okay, so he's had a cybernetic upgrade, is what
Yeah.
you're saying.
It seems super
his note.
dangerous, though.
Yeah.
Like you would easily accidentally cut your
Hopefully.
leg off or something.
Well,
Hopefully-
but that's what I mean. It only worked when he wanted
Yeah.
it to on certain people and not like in all of his surroundings. Because he whipped it around a couple times and it didn't cut down the
think that'd be
thing they were
hilarious.
hanging on.
I think that we should see the other part of his life where he goes to like dinner parties and shit, and the thing just kind of cuts loose.
And, he slices his meat with it. He's like, this is a very tender tenderloin.
He's got a piece of steak caught in his teeth. He's like, oh, hang on, let me get.
Oh, but you gotta turn down the heat though, so you don't
Yeah.
melt your gums.
Yeah.
He has to recharge it, maybe.
He has to plug it in overnight with
Plug it
USB.
overnight.
Maybe it's a
Goes the
setting.
battery.
Maybe it's a setting. Maybe it's like he got dental floss setting. He got head chopping off setting. He got steak setting.
Hang on a second, guys.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, thumbnail. So Johnny escapes and ends up
The guy that attacks him in the bathroom looked like a white
Baldy.
version of Morpheus. From
Okay.
The Matrix.
Again,
He was
the
wearing trench
Wachowskis are
coat,
taking notes.
Bald head, big
Yeah.
sunglasses, everything.
he called him
And,
Baldy.
Larry's
Yeah.
pointing at the screen going like, and that guy, his name's going to be Morpheus, except he's going to be black. It's going to be Larry Fishburne from New Jack City.
So he gets to Newark because apparently that's where he has to go drop off the stuff.
I hate to interrupt you one more time.
Oh my god!
But he escapes through the stairs, which I guess in the future nobody else knew how to use stairs because he took his sweet ass time.
I don't even
But-
remember.
But he put on a wig and like a bellhop.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
And I'm like, is this racist? Like, because he like
It did
the
look a
way
little-
he
yeah.
walked,
It
like
did.
he was hop sing or something.
Yeah,
Like,
it did look a
was
little bit
weird.
appropriation
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
but he was trying to blend in with the locals. I'm not saying that it's right.
But he also kind of looked like River Phoenix, so it could have been trying to look like his
Okay.
buddy
Oh
River
wait, we
Phoenix.
forgot this. When he was in the hotel, this may be
We're gonna forget a
prescient.
lot of things.
Yeah.
Let's
When
just
he's
put
in the
that out.
hotel to begin with, all of a sudden Ice-T comes on through the media on the wall, and he's like, "Hack your brains" or some shit. He says something to
Hack
him.
the planet.
Yeah.
Is it a popular drink in the future, I guess? Is
No,
that in
he's hacking through the stuff because there's these low techs. The low techs are people that know how to hack the systems. They all live underground.
But
They
is
live
it
in
like
They're
a
the
Alberta.
rebellion.
commercial for?
He
No,
just
he
hacked.
just-
He hacked the
hacked
hotel
in.
TV.
Yeah.
And he's like spreading the word that
He
like,
like
the
came in the
rebellion's out there.
broadcast. It was just like a hotel TV,
Wait,
like
who,
playing
Who hacked the TV?
Ice Cube. Ice Tea.
Wow.
Oh,
I was
Ice.
thinking
You got
about
the
a
wrong
cold
ice.
drink. I was thinking about a delicious iced tea with some ice cubes in it.
Yeah.
Whew, girl. Anywho, I like both of them.
He's great in Law and
I
Order.
find Ice Cube to be funnier than Ice Tea, though. Are we there yet? He was in that movie.
Yes, I know.
Thank you.
Are we there
Boom.
yet?
Ice
Yeah,
Cube.
Ice
Oh,
Cube.
okay.
I just said that. Anywho, so we're leaving the hotel. He's escaping. He gets out with the stuff in his brain. He's now in Newark. Stuff's bleeding in his brain. But at the same time, the guy who had chased him, the Yakuza with the freckles, he had a little freckle nose. He was so cute. So the Yakuza with the freckles, what?
Keep going. What is he doing?
He comes after Johnny Mnemonic, but he ends up at the guy who's the head of this place called Pharmacom.
So that's also what's happening in the future is that it's run by big pharmacy companies.
They
And
want to
that-
keep all the shit for themselves.
And they have the cure for certain diseases that's plaguing all the low-techs and plaguing most of society. But they're not going to release it because it's cheaper to treat a disease rather than
You make
cure
more
it.
money.
And it turns out that the
Diabetes.
Yeah,
everything.
cancer.
it turns out that the information that Johnny has got is the cure for this disease that's plaguing everyone.
He didn't
Financial
know that.
literacy.
And he had no idea.
Okay,
Sorry.
okay.
Yeah.
So he doesn't know that he has this information
Financial
in his
literacy is a
brain.
good one.
Thank you.
But when he gets to New Jersey, he calls up Ralphie.
And he says,
He's like-
Ralphie, get it out of my head.
And Ralphie's like, but Johnny!
Oh, Johnny, I cannot do that. I cannot get that stuff out of your head. You're now wanted by Pharmacom. So he goes to the club where Frankie hangs out, Ralphie, whatever his name is. Ralphie got a couple of henchmen that are actually pretty cool looking. Their costumes and their makeup are
Yeah,
really
it's
cool.
really good.
And then there's some other girl who got the black shakes because she's got the virus.
And that girl is Dizzy from Starship Troopers, and she's been in a bunch of stuff.
She
Yeah.
was the slutty teacher in 90210.
Yes, she was.
Yeah, she was. So then she wants to be a bodyguard for Ralphie, but he won't let her because she got the black shakes because she got the virus.
She's got a lot of these cybernetic implants, which makes her really, really strong and a good fighter.
And she's
but
one of
she's also got
Spider's girls. Spider
syndrome.
is this like underground doctor who tries to help these people with the black shakes,
played by Henry Rollins.
poorly sometimes.
Again, a better director would have helped him because he had a moment where he was great.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's the day the director took off. That's
What-
the
What moment was that?
It was the second
hospital.
At the hospital after the first time they were together, and he goes to the hospital. Then Henry Rollins is all of a sudden
We're
actually doing a decent job.
when he's talking about being the doctor and helping the people and blah,
And
blah,
I'm
and
like-
getting the stuff out of his head.
That first AD must have taken over that day because I'm like, man,
Because when he first meets Henry Rollins' character, it's like stiff. It's
It's
like talking to
brutal.
a piece of wood.
Yeah.
It made
So
Keanu
you got
look
two
like an
pieces of-
Oscar winner.
Yeah. You got two pieces of wood talking to each other.
Yeah. But
I like me some Henry Rollins.
yeah, singing. I mean, really.
Singing.
Or some
I'm sorry,
some
yes, I meant
spoken
to
word.
say.
Some
And-
like angry spoken word, Henry Rollins.
So, anyways, she shows up, and Keanu Reeves realizes that Ralphie sold him out, and she wants to be a part of Ralphie's crew. So she kind of gets her weapon from the bar, and she kind of sneaks over the rafters, Breakfast Club style, and she crashes in on them trying to kill Keanu Reeves because they're going to take his whole head off, fingernail guy. 'Cause,
Yeah, they want to cryogenically freeze it so that they can preserve the information
No
without.
loose ends.
Yeah, because at one point he says to him,
I'll give
"Dead
you
man
money."
do tell tales."
Right.
Right. Because
So
they can get the information out of your
she-
brain now.
For some
Even if you're
reason,
dead.
So practical.
I don't know why she crashes down because she has no, motivation to, but she crashes down in there and disrupts this whole thing. And then Keanu Reeves is like, I'll give you 50 grand or whatever.
She saw the opportunity.
She saw an
Yeah,
opportunity.
exactly. I agree with that because Ralphie, she wanted to get back at Ralphie because he wouldn't give her a job.
Mm-hmm.
So she was going to go prove herself.
So
That's what I
she
felt
saves
like too.
him.
She's
They're on the run.
cybernetically enhanced as well. So then they're on the run.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Oh Jesus.
Oh.
So they escape,
Yes, they do.
and the girl.
She throws away the weapon that she tried really hard to get back from the bartender.
Starship Trooper. I noticed.
It was
So
a cool
stupid.
weapon, too.
I
It was
know.
one of the coolest weapons in the...
It was like a lasso that got straight, and then it was like a knife
Rigid.
on the end of like a
Yeah.
pointer stick.
It
and
got
then it-
hard.
Yeah, it got hard. It went flaccid and then got hard.
That's actually, I think, an old martial arts weapon, I think. I think it is.
Well,
nice.
Yeah.
she threw it on the ground and left the room. So good
Wow.
thing she went out of her way to get that fucker back.
Well, she's fighting one of the henchmen. Keanu Reeves somehow got the gun from the bad guy. And he's holding them off, and she's fighting. And he's like, I got the gun, let's go. And so instead of shooting the two guys that are chasing him, trying to decapitate him.
Yeah.
Not even kill him, decapitate
Yeah, take
him.
his head.
Instead of shooting them, he gets the girl and he just takes off. They shut a door. And when he shuts the gate, it's like a prison cell door.
Yes.
The whip guy whips at it.
With the laser whip. He
And
got his
he-
laser whip thumbnail.
And he almost hits Ralphie.
Yeah.
And Ralphie's like, you almost hit me. And then the laser whip guy, is all pissed off because they got away. And he looked at Ralphie. And did you guys notice the take he gave to the camera? Ralphie was like,
like double take.
the funniest face ever. And then the laser whip guy just like slices him
A
into
couple
thirds.
times, yeah.
And
But-
he slides apart.
off.
It's kind of gross.
This is my favorite part in that scene. The cage door that slammed them in there before he kills Ralphie. It's literally like less than a chain link fence. It like wobbles back and forth, and if he pushed it and reached outside of it, he could probably get himself out of it, or used his laser thumbnail
I
to
think
just slice through the lock on the door.
I think it's funny that his laser thumbnail only really worked with flesh.
Yeah.
Or wooden doors.
Yeah, or wooden door. Fucking stupid thumbnail. Anyway, so
Wood is incredibly durable.
yeah.
So now they're on the
saying.
run. Yeah, it is. So now they're on the run, and they make their way to where all of the low-tech people are, because now
they're hiding out in dumpsters, a la Escape from New York.
I feel like we skipped a part.
We did.
we skipped a
Okay.
bunch of parts.
Yeah,
That's
he
okay.
ends up getting.
When you watch this, your brain's gonna skip a bunch of parts.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I just
but
wanted
he
to
meets
mention-
Ice-T earlier.
I just wanted to mention Ice-T is like a major league pitcher that only has like a 96 mile an hour fastball.
Nobody
like, it's a
understands this.
solid
We don't
fastball.
understand this.
Yeah, I know.
I'm saying is
One
he's
trick
a
pony.
one note per.
Yeah.
Like all he can
That's it.
do is play angry.
Pacino?
He's got it.
Pacino, I have fucking range.
no,
Show me
Alright,
range.
We're gonna get phone calls now.
Yeah.
Oh my God! Just because
Godfather.
he's a beloved,
He was.
he's the
quiet-
Godfather and everything.
Quiet Rage. Well, now he's hoo-ha Pacino.
Oh my God!
That's
Charlie hoo-ha.
Exactly. So he's in one note. He's one note.
Yeah, but Godfather, he's quiet and menacing.
Oh, so it's the other side of the same
All
coin.
right, all right. Hey, we're talking about Ice-T. We're talking about Ice-T.
He's built a fucking empire.
Yeah.
by
I have
the
nothing
same
bad to say.
character. Who cares?
He said his fastball was good, Psycho
Yeah.
Pants.
I didn't
Why
say
can't you
it
call me
was a-
psycho? I'm not calling you names, dum dum.
You just did.
Hey, hey.
I did it on purpose.
You know what I love? I love when the two of you get along.
Shut the fuck up.
No, I get so many good vibes here. It's good.
It is
Feels
good.
nice.
It's
It
good
is good.
vibes. It is good vibes, isn't it?
Ow,
good.
that really hurts.
So, anywho,
Love hurts.
Man's been up all night
he
worrying.
protects them, and he gives them a safe place to hide
So
in
this is what's
low-tech
funny.
land.
So they show up to this just this garbage dump of a low tech kind of cyberpunk.
And it's just
Well,
two
you,
people.
you said New
It's-
Jersey, so
It's the Yakuza with the fingernail and one of the...
one henchman,
Yeah.
maybe the bald guy.
No, it wasn't. It was
Oh,
the
is it?
girl.
So-
No, it was the girl.
Okay, so it's the girl. So there's two people, and they show up, and it's so they're facing off, and then the guy pulls out his fingernail, blah blah blah, or wastes his gun, and then all of a sudden, all these low techs come out of the woodwork like Rambo style. Like that garbage bag is not a garbage bag; it's a person with a rifle everywhere, like Ewoks. They just spring up.
I love a
and
good
then,
Ewok.
And
Come
then,
back.
so they got him. They're like, "Get the fuck out of here! You're not. This isn't the place for you." And it's kind of a cool moment. But then all of a sudden,
They didn't kill him again.
they didn't kill him, and
They
then
had the numbers.
they did. And then nonchalantly, like there's nothing going on, like 7 bad guys just kind of stroll up behind Fingernail Guy and start raising their guns. And it's like, no one's concerned about this?
Where did they come from?
Exactly.
Where did they come from? Uber dropped them off, apparently. Yeah.
So, the dirty teacher from 90210 and Keanu Reeves disappeared down into the subway. and she starts like grilling him. What are you running from? What do you got in your head? Don't you ever look? What's going on in there? And she flashes a flashlight in his head, and he's like, what? And his head starts like hurting, and
so now the seepage is taking over.
Yeah, and so she lets him sleep, and his nose starts bleeding, and he's like, I can't sleep. I've got to get someplace. And then she just keeps berating him about his childhood and her childhood and wherever. It's just so inappropriate.
Yeah.
It was the weirdest conversation.
It was weird.
The dialogue was terrible. It was inappropriate.
There's a lot of bad dialogue.
And this whole time, Keanu Reeves' character has been a complete dick to everybody.
Yeah,
Everybody. Ice-T saved his life, and what's he do? He points a gun at Ice-T's face.
And he keeps trying to get rid of this fucking girl who's saved his life on like twice now.
Yeah.
She saved his life twice in like 5 minutes. And all he wants to do is get rid of her and be an asshole. And then she's going to get him to spite her to look at his head, right? That's what happens next?
Right.
Hey, you know, look, you're running from one law, and you got 3 terabytes in your body. You know, you don't know who you can trust, it sounds like.
Why would you get rid of your childhood? And he keeps having some stupid flashbacks about
I
a
lost
stupid
my
tricycle.
childhood that day.
Yeah, to dump out that childhood.
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's what my dad said.
I love the fact. So I don't know if it's right after this. I think it's after they meet Henry. No, it's before Henry Rollins. They're walking through some kind of a shopping mall, and the shopping mall is like 1 part shopping mall, 2 part like cyberpunk wasteland where people are right, and then another like all the homeless vagrant drug addicts are there like just hanging out, and like there's people being mugged, there's people like doing drugs, there's people sleeping, there's fires
like,
but then there's people shopping,
fires.
there's people walking through with bags. It's so
weird.
bizarre.
It's
So,
like the last days of the Twin City Mall.
or Cross County. Cross County was mine.
Sounds like 2024.
Oh, it's 2021. So they
Just wait.
find this guy who's Henry Rollins who says, we're going to take you. Oh, wait, we forgot about Crazy Bob's fucking computer emporium. So
that's what happened. So he needs a computer because he's in the subway.
I need a computer.
Gotta have a computer.
I've got to get on the net.
And
So-
you would think in 2021 computers would be everywhere.
You mean like on your wrist?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
In your
know.
pocket.
Yeah.
Everywhere. but-
For real.
So this is what. So your thing that bothered you. This is what bothered me. So
They're in the subway. They're leaving the subway station, and this is the scene. And he's
So
like,
they leave the subway station.
I need a computer.
And then the next shot is like a dark room, and then the door bursts open, and she's
From
like,
the perspective of the room
Right.
with the cardboard boxes.
and then she says something like, "Where did you learn how to do that?" And so apparently he picked the lock and opened the door, but we never saw him do that.
We don't know where he is. I think he's in like some kind of security office
Right.
in the subway
First
station.
of all, the door just opens, and she says that line, and I'll go, that makes no sense. And then, we don't know where they are. They're just in some warehouse.
There
we don't
was
know.
some lazy storytelling.
Dude,
Lazy
that's an understatement.
storytelling.
So they get in this place, and he's like, I need a CPU with this minis and that minis.
I need a Zip Zap 900 and a Fling
35
Fang
millimeter
4790.
Q710. And she like grabs him off the shelf, and it's a visor and some haptic gloves.
Yeah, I think he does say iPhone.
And
Because I think that's where we heard it. I need an iPhone. We're like, what?
And so he does the internet like this with his little haptic gloves.
Lawnmower Man style.
Yeah. And he moves
Yeah.
things around and opens things
But
and grabs them.
all
and
the-
goes, I'm unfolding this and I am bringing you to me.
Like
All the things he's doing are just to make a phone call. It's literally one button, and he's like doing this huge charade.
And
I
wait,
think I saw this in an episode of Community.
oh, that's so funny. Yes. And when he's trying to get the Beijing hotel, it's like some kind of triangle puzzle, and all the little puzzle pieces are like trying to turn
my
around,
God.
and he keeps tapping them in
Access
his.
denied. Access granted.
So then he tries. One of his hacker friends owes him a favor. And what was the guy's name? I don't even know.
Stitcher.
And he's like, I'm trying to get in. And finally the guy's like, ooh, you must know the secret code to get in. And it's this weird reverse negative of a guy's face in a box.
It's kind of distorted a little bit.
Very,
And
very 90s.
and
Very 90s.
and Keanu Reeves' character's like trying to strong arm him into giving him information, and he pulls his fingers up real high like he's a magician, and he's like, "I've got you right now. I could destroy you where your chat room or something."
There,
Yeah.
computer.
That's how I make my living, man. Don't do it.
And then a virus comes in and eats.
Oh
him
man,
anyway.
they put a virus on us.
They put a virus. Oh no! You gotta get out of here. You gotta go. And then
So then all the trench coats show up, and then this is when they escape and get to the weirdo mall.
And then
So
there's some
bizarre.
ghost in a machine that's telling him, Johnny, they're after you.
It's a very disjointed storyline. It's so all over the place.
Oh my
But
God.
And it really,
as a technomancer and as a fan of cyberpunk, I'll tell you, it's very cyberpunk.
it is very sad.
Look, like I
It
said,
makes
the
you-
William Gibson short story, I'm sure was fucking great.
Yeah.
He could not translate it to the screen.
If you beat the Genesis version of Shadowrun, because the Super Nintendo version was trash, and we're like, I need more cyberpunk. Like, this was it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
In 1995.
Yeah.
I mean-
well, I saw this and Lawnmower Man in the theaters. So
Yikes.
This makes you appreciate all the great action movies we have today. It really does,
It
because
makes you
it's so
appreciate The Matrix.
slow and bad. The Matrix is Citizen Kane compared to this. I mean, Matrix is pretty good anyway.
Just to be clear, when we talk the Matrix, we're talking about the first Matrix, right?
Right, yes,
Oh,
that's
yes,
right. Let's be
yes,
clear.
yes, yes.
Right.
Anywho,
So-
let's fast forward to the dolphin.
I know. Can we? You're blowing it.
I'm not blowing
You're
anything.
not blowing it.
Anyways,
You're blowing my mind. is what
Spider
you're doing.
ends up being a doctor, and they're trying to help all these
So
kids with
she
knives.
has a freak out attack in the weirdo hipster mall, and he takes her to Henry
She
Rollins.
got the black shakes.
Got the black shakes, man.
So Spider can't help them. He tries to help him with the wet works in his brain, but he
What-
can't, and he's got to take him to the hospital.
When they show up and knock on his door, do you guys remember what Henry Rollins says?
No.
He's like, if you aren't expected, then you weren't invited, so fuck off.
Oh yeah, I like that. That sounds like a
And
line
that-
from a Black Flag song.
Well, I figure that's just his regular answering machine message.
That's
He's like,
funny.
don't worry, I got this.
That's hilarious.
I forgot about this. So, okay, the head of Pharmacom, the Japanese guy, he hires this preacher who's like a death angel.
It's like a different movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes out of nowhere. So now we have a whole different movie starting where Dolph fucking Lundgren
Dolph Lundgren shows up.
shows up halfway through and
Mm-hmm.
plays some kind of cybernetic. He's like the girl, except he's
He's a psychotic
psychopath.
preacher who thinks he's Christ or something, and
But
he's
he's
going
all
to atone everybody.
teched out.
Yeah, and he's not. There's not a bone in his body that hasn't been enhanced.
And every line of dialogue of his is like, what can I do for you, my son? Who,
So
yeah, he's
terrible.
gonna
who are the
save him.
sinners? You know,
And the way he
it's so
kills them is
weird.
with the stigmata. He takes their hands and because they're like, no, don't, in a defensive motion. So he grabs their hands and puts one of them up and stabs them with a knife or a nail or something. Then he takes their other one and he puts the other one up. But you never see him kill people. You just see him do the stigmata.
Well, I think he sounds like crucifixion.
Yeah,
That's what
it's
I meant.
crucifixion.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever. I watched too many stupid horror movies in the 90s too.
That's another, I think, cyberpunk trope of the super enhanced monster version. This technology has taken over.
It's
Of course,
Frankenstein kind of a thing.
I myself can relate. I have
Really?
technology in my body right now.
It's in your penis.
You were
In your
saying
butt.
about the movie? You were saying
Sorry.
I have a
So-
little man in my butt that opens up my sphincter so I can poop.
So the movie, we've got this weirdo Dolph Lundgren happening, and he's now chasing them.
He's chasing,
Slowly.
but they hit him with a truck, and he still gets up.
They
'cause he's
escape
cybernetically
the
enhanced.
Henry Rollins Hospital, and Henry Rollins does not make it out. But they,
No, this guy gets Henry Rollins, which seems like a real waste. Everybody dies. All the main people sort of
Well,
kick the bucket.
this is where they find out what's in his head and like why he's so important.
Right.
Because at this point, he's just trying to get it out.
So now
to
he's
save
got
his
a
life.
he's got a choice to make. He's like you got to get it out, so you got to die, so you can save the world. Because now his best friend now and may possibly love interest is suffering from this disease. So now it's like, oh, all these people are suffering from this, so I have to make a choice. So they take him to Ice-T's hideout, which
Because you got to see Jones. Go see Jones.
Right, Jones.
Who's this Jones? And then he has this monologue on top of a pile of fucking
is a freak
trash. And
oh, it's awful.
it is Keanu Reeves monologuing at his worst.
I was so embarrassed for the human race when
Yeah.
I watched this
He's screaming about wanting
room service.
room service and white starched shirts.
He doesn't like being on the ground level. He likes nice things, but like that never was apparent throughout the whole film. Maybe for like 15 seconds in the beginning.
So he starts pitching a fit about not being able to have room service and have to live with the trash down below.
I
He's
just
like-
want to be in my hotel with my that $10,000 a night whore and blah and room service and
I want the club sandwich and the cold Mexican beer.
Don't you mean the cold Mexican Coke?
that too.
Sounds like he's almost the Christ figure in this
Oh man, now you're really getting deep on
cyberpunk
something.
kind of,
Oh
and
man.
like man's journey through
Yeah.
wanting to live
It's a journey.
above, but really truly down below,
Well,
a
so-
bottom feeder. if
But
you will.
wait, Jones. So we get to meet Jones, who is military.
So there's a bridge that's like half constructed, and that's where the low-tech headquarters is. So they get shuttled up to Ice-T's low-tech headquarters.
What's it called?
Low-tech headquarters? I don't
garbage dump number 5.
It's called Heaven.
know. Oh, heaven.
yeah,
Oh,
okay.
wow.
This is heaven.
All the undertones are just coming out. They're seepaging out. They're seeping out
Seepaging.
in my face.
So they
like
go.
the customs guy told me, you're not hiding anything, buddy.
So they get into heaven to go meet Jones, who happens to be a cybernetic dolphin, as in a porpoise,
Cybernetically
a
enhanced
porpoise,
Dolphin
who's living in like a 6x4 tank.
with all sorts of like, steampunked out helmet and shit.
And eyeballs, and he can like, what's this thing that he does when he has a radar thing
Yeah.
that comes out of his head, and it's like electromagnetic.
I don't think
just,
that
like,
the
pulls
writer. I don't think the writers or the director knew. They just knew.
Anyway,
So-
Jones is a fish.
Johnny is
It's a
a
mammal.
Thank you.
Johnny is a wandering man looking for his porpoise.
Oh,
Oh,
he did
boy.
find it. He found his porpoise, all
That
right.
is correct.
So he finally sits down to be probed by the dolphin. So
After another freak out when he calls it a fish constantly, and they do correct him, but it's like, dude, seriously, this is what you're. Did the dolphins the one thing that freaks you out? Like, sit in the fucking chair.
Well, they kept telling about Jones, but they never said it was a dolphin.
Right.
Yeah,
Like, they
yeah, I
kept,
know. I
like-
get the surprise.
Yeah.
Anywho.
But still, I think that's something you should be able to handle at this point.
Right, with some
Yeah.
shit in your
I
head
feel like
that.
that happened in another Keanu Reeves movie where there was a male name and it turned out that it was a female. Did that
Probably.
happen in another Keanu
Was that
Reeves
the
movie?
Matrix? Trinity?
Was-
You're
you're-
Trinity? I thought you were a man.
Right, something like that. Yeah, or your I forget the movie. Anyway, please continue.
It just gets worse from there.
So now you got a bunch of the trench coat guys showing up, and this is the funniest part for me. If you watch this, is like, so a bunch of the trench coat people show up, and they go up there. And now the fingernail guy's up there, and
Like they shoot like Batman shit into the bridge.
Yeah.
And he goes ka-thunk, and then they get it and they go.
so there's like half a dozen of them sneak up to this bridge. And then there's a couple of them on the ground. Well, they get up there and they kill a couple of the guards, the lookouts. And when they kill one of the lookout accidentally hits one of the booby traps. And so the booby traps are these VW bugs that are up there that fall down
And explode.
and kill people. So he accidentally dies. Well, he dies and accidentally hits this thing. The bug drops and it crushes one of the nameless, faceless henchmen on the ground. And then that henchman's partner freaks out. His
Brody!
his name was like Brody or Phil or something.
Brody. She
Is
said
it Brody?
Brody.
And all of a sudden, she digs out a rocket launcher and just
rocket launcher.
and there's like a 5-minute sequence of her shooting up at the bridge. Now, keep in mind, her bosses and her friends are up there.
yeah, like 6 of her buddies just went
Brody's
up there.
brother's probably up there.
And-
but it was such a non sequitur, weird fucking moment.
Why do we care about these no-name, faceless henchmen?
It was like-
Those scenes probably got cut.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
So now the rockets caused all sorts of chaos and created like this big action sequence. And then Ice-T comes over and he kills her in like a second. And it's like, okay, so what happened? Now who's going to avenge her death?
So
were the guard guys Cypress Hill? Like, they look like.
no,
One
one
of them
was
was
Coyote Shivers.
Coyote Shivers from Empire Records.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. The
Other
other one,
fame.
he looked familiar, but he looked like the kangaroos from Tank Girl. So that's all I could think.
Well, that was Ice-T.
I
too.
know, but he had the same makeup on the other guy, so that's what was confusing.
So anyway, there's a huge fight. Shit's getting hacked in half. All the power goes out. But apparently, it's super easy to turn the power back on. It's not a big deal at all.
yeah, so they kill all the bad guys, but then Yakuza shows up, and then the ghost in the machine guilts him about how his daughter died from the virus and they had the cure. So don't you want to get back at them? You can't let them get away with this.
So now everyone's turning on each other, and Pharmacon guy gets killed by Fingernail guy. Fingernail guy and Keanu Reeves have a big fight. And then that's over, but then all of a sudden,
Dolph Lundgren comes in.
cybernetic Jesus shows up.
So
and
then
he
they
starts
set
fighting.
him on fire.
Oh
the
my God!
dolphin somehow
Makes it through fine.
attacks
that's right.
Dolph Lundgren. Does the
He pulls, the
Does
magnetic
this-
stuff, and he pulls Dolph Lundgren's like cybernetic enhancements out of his body.
Wolverine or something.
Yeah.
Magneto.
Yeah, and he
It's like a
catches
dolphin
on fire.
Magneto.
So then they decide we're gonna download his. Ice-T gets on and he says, he takes over the airwaves.
He gets the
This
power
is
back on with
low-tech.
no problem at all. Yeah, and he's like,
Yeah.
all right, this is low tech, coming at you low tech style.
And we're coming at you with the cure to the NAS. Get your VCRs ready. He
So-
literally says, "Get your VCRs
So they're not
ready."
emailing it to people. They're literally broadcasting it out on these 4x3 TV tube sets, and everyone has to get their VCRs ready to download.
To record it.
To record the
quick,
cure.
Quick, hit record, hit record.
Hey, look, we can't see the future, you know?
They did when it came to that
Could
virus.
not.
So it was pretty funny. They all get their VCRs out and download and record
And everybody's watching all these all these images of like PDF files on the
because
screen.
it's the R&D, it's the research and development
Right.
stuff, and so it's all of just the
But everyone's-
trials. It's all the trial
but
studies.
everyone's reacting
and
like, oh yeah, oh I see.
we can cure this disease right now.
It's just-
Lay
it's
down,
a
honey.
couple-
I'll cure you.
That's a cup of Kool-Aid. I understand. Watermelon flavor. That's what does it.
And then they magically get it out of his head.
How'd
Yeah.
they do that though?
How did they do that?
So he had to go in. This is where Lawnmower Man comes in. He had to go in. Let's go. Hit it.
He had to jack on
He
to
had
the
to-
internet.
He had to jack on so he could jack off. A lot of jacking up was happening.
That's when he became a licorice stick.
Yeah, he became
was
a
some kind of
he
tube.
became a Slim Jim, a cybernetic Slim
And he
Jim,
had little round cinnamon bun ears.
and he was a Lawnmower Man for a little bit, and he had to like.
He had to duplicate himself.
Right.
So the virus
Don't
didn't-
worry, this is a dupe. That's his duplicate, says Ice-T.
Oh man,
Because he got killed.
The director's like, we need somebody to explain what's happening. Let's get Ice-T to do it.
So he cleaned his brain. He hacked it and he cleaned it.
And the dolphin came in.
Oh, the dolphin
oh
was
my
in there
God,
all
it
the
was
whole
this
time.
whole.
He had to loop. He goes, loop it now.
So
you gotta loop with Jones. You gotta loop with Jones.
It's like multiplayer then, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Asynchronous.
Wait,
Yeah.
Different powers.
who said it? He didn't imagine himself. He still imagined himself a dolphin.
Yeah, the dolphin imagined himself a dolphin.
Like, why didn't he
Came down
imagine
as a
himself
s-
like a person?
You know,
Right?
the CGI dolphin floating from the sky to help out
I
Licorice
mean,
Stick.
the dolphin would probably be comfortable in its own skin.
You would
like,
think.
why?
I don't know. Little Mermaid wanted legs, so why wouldn't the dolphin want legs?
When I
Look at those.
jack into VR,
Oh,
you know, I always look like myself exactly as I am.
Oh,
right?
no, you don't.
I do.
But that's where the Wachowskis were like, it's the mental projection of your digital self. And then they're writing shit down watching this movie.
The
Saying,
dolphin thought it was a dolphin.
exactly. Are you getting this, Larry?
His name's not Larry.
I know. I'm sorry. Apologies.
Well, back then it was.
Okay,
back then,
okay,
yeah.
okay. Yeah. So, it has a happy ending. He gets together with that girl, so it doesn't
For some reason.
Yeah, he doesn't
'cause
pass-
Why does
yeah.
anybody like him?
No.
I don't know why.
Why does she? And why? It,
And then
stop.
It was so
ends.
forced.
It ends like Fight Club. They kind of both look off in the bad green screen distance.
Yep.
to Newark.
Pharmacon, because they lost the cure. Because the cure is free now, they decided to blow themselves up.
He
guess.
just caught on fire.
I see.
The
I
AI and Pharmacom just was like,
Power.
set yourselves on fire.
I assumed that it was a rebellion and a bunch of the low techs just
No,
attacked.
I think they're like, we're fucked. Just
Do it.
blow it off.
Get the insurance money.
In my mind, it was all of the like 1995 mainframes, all the like room-sized computers, just like setting like can't compute,
The
and it just like
VCRs.
yeah,
Too
exactly.
many VCRs
Yeah.
downloading the information.
The ghost in the machine just fucking lit it on fire.
And for anybody that's ever played Borderlands or Borderlands 2, that's where they got Angel from, is this movie.
Yeah.
Because they totally ripped off
Ooh,
the ghost in the
what'd you
machine.
think about the lady who was talking to Takahashi and she was like super white, but she had the geisha like hairdo, like blonde, like geisha hairdo and like traditional garment, like clothing, but she was like middle-aged white lady.
His whole vibe in all his scenes were kind of weird. because his daughter died, and they brought that up for
Yeah.
Yeah, it was also
really no reason.
Well, so anyway, sir, what's your name? I'm sorry.
Oh, me?
Yeah, you.
I'm Chester.
Chester. Chester.
You don't seem like a Chester, but I'll
You
take
know
it.
what? It's great. I hope you enjoy this movie. I know it seems a little bit more high tech than your low key vibe.
But there's a certain zen that exists throughout this film. I feel like being zen is the way to make it through our crazy cybernetic world.
Well, as a technomancer and as a romancer,
Hey?
Ooh.
I feel that this
Hey.
movie is something that would delight, entertain, and fill me with information.
There you go.
Wet worked into your brain.
Some seepage. Seepage for you.
You know what I mean?
Here's my number.
Oh, wow.
Cheers. Hey, be kind, rewind.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming by. It's
Yeah.
a pleasure to have you.
Take care, Chester.
See you guys.
This was awesome.
What a nice guy.
Yeah, what
Yeah,
a
nice guy. Very nice guy.
I know. That was really great.
Hey guys, who's that outside? Is that who I think it is?
It looks like
Oh
it.
my God.
No, that can't be.
Stop
It has
it.
to
Holy
be.
he's coming this way.
Oh my God, what do we do?
Just act normal.
He looks like he has a videotape in his hand too.
Okay. All
Oh,
right.
no.
Okay.
Guys, be cool. Be
Okay.
cool.
Hello, it is me, Keanu Reeves. I'm just dropping off a video, Busty Cops 2. Don't worry, I rewound it.
It's a good one.
You're all breathtaking.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that took him a minute to get his modem started. But
Oh man, that was a little bizarre, if I may. Who would have thought?
He really was a cool guy.
Yeah,
You know,
very
He
cool.
really
I feel
He-
bad about making fun of his terrible acting.
I
I
don't.
mean, he rewound, so.
yeah.
I don't. I feel like he's grown as an artist, and now he's having a resurgence, and everybody thinks he's this amazing person. So it's
he-
paid off for him in the end.
Did he rent Busty Cops 1? Because I don't remember that. He just went straight for the sequel.
Who needs the first one anyway?
I don't know. You got to get the story down.
Maybe you saw it on cable like years and years
Maybe.
ago when he's in Idaho. It's
possible.
True.
I wonder how that story ended.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bet. I bet.
I'm sorry I passed out a little bit in the back. It was the Flamin' Hot Cheetos got me riled up.
Yeah, I understand that.
I'm going to go see my bartender friend. He's got something special.
Be careful of that tequila.
Oh, it's a monster, man.
It'll
It's a
tequila
monster.
you.
All right. See,
Bye.
he was in a hurry. He was in a hurry, that
Poor
man.
thing. Oh.
Got places to be.
I know. Well, Johnny, you've got places to be. I mean,
Guys,
you got a
gotta
book
work
to
on that-
launch.
I got to work on that manuscript.
Yeah, don't
so-
be late for J-Lo's thing.
Okay, cool.
Butt noises.
See you guys.
All right, bye. Shit, he totally knew this movie.
No, but like this movie, like, okay, yes, it's terrible. It's terrible. But like it really is like for the 90s, like if you needed cyberpunk,
Yeah.
this is all you got.
Yeah, that's all
It's
it-
all you get.
yep.
And but like that fucking wire, and like for my age, like when that movie came out, I was like, what is this? Like, and then with the fingers when he does this thing to
my
like
God.
with the phone calls. Yeah. Yeah.
But he's opening it all up.
Yeah, I saw it
What?
in the theater, and it was just like at the time we were like, "Dude, this movie's
Yeah,
slick. It's
it was
awesome,"
cool.
and you really loved it. That but when you go back and actually watch it as a story, you're like, "This."
Oh yeah, I want to go back and watch it now and just really like
on
with fresh
Hulu.
eyes because
It
I
is
have
on
not.
Hulu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's also on Pluto.
Well,
Yeah.
I played like Cyberpunk 2077, that game, and like
Okay.
it's very cyberpunk. Like
So-
nanowire is what that's called. Nanowire. This is cyberpunk
you.
is a
Thank you.
cyberpunk is like D&D.
Yeah. Okay.
Cyberpunk has themes that stick. When you're talking cyberpunk, you're talking just like D&D. You have
There are things. There are rules to the world.
there are rules to the world. Yeah.
Yeah.
So-
okay,
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, let me
So
finish.
Johnny-
Let me finish my
literally
medicine.
thought-
Hold
I
on.
really thought
No,
it
no,
was
I-
like Big Trouble in Little China. I totally
weird.
thought it was some
It is,
kind
right?
of.
It's good though. It's good. Thank
yeah,
you.
I agree.
It's weird.
But it's so like
I can do it.
drinkable.
It's drinkable. Yeah.
So the Johnny Silverhand comes from
From
video
Cyberpunk.
games,
Cyberpunk
and it's
2077,
based and they
yeah.
based it on Keanu Reeves' character in the video game. So he comes, and that's where Johnny Silverhand comes from. I was looking up cyberpunk cocktails, and they.
Oh, this is called. That's what this was called.
Johnny Silverhand's the
Yeah.
cocktail, and it came from a video game where they based the main character, or at least the character's drink, on Keanu Reeves from.
He's in that game.
He's in that
throughout
game.
the whole game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the whole game.
that's
and
right.
the
What's
character
the game
that you
called?
play, Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk, yeah,
2077
that's where it's
or
from. It's
Cyberpunk.
from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably one of the most anticipated games ever.
Oh yeah.